yeah, hey, yeah, hey.
Nice.
Right, this epic river adventure of mine wouldn't be complete without a show us your gear segment. So let me show you all the kit that I have with me on this trip. Some of you may have seen this on Facebook already. I posted a short video before I left, and a lot, if not all, that I'm going to be showing you has featured in a lot of my videos before anyway. So for those of you who have been following my videos, a lot of this will be quite familiar. But this was a question that was sent to me asking exactly what it is that I have with me on this trip. So let me quickly run through it with you. Starting with the tent, this is again the 4-season Helio, the 2-man Helio. In terms of sleep system, this is the Thermarest Neo Air Venture insulating pad, and I have my First Ascent Explorer down with a -5 rating. Although it's been pretty hot the first few weeks that we were here, the last 2 weeks there has been a substantial drop in temperature, and the evenings are definitely getting much cooler. So at first I questioned the sleeping bag, but right now I'm super grateful that I have it. Also, this ground sheet that I'm currently sitting on, this is actually the top of a stretcher. This is a piece of canvas, and it's quickly become one of my favorite pieces of gear. In terms of dry bags, I also have this 10 liter, and in here I only have a change of clothes and another warm top, and then of course I've got my North Core 40 liter dry bag. So all my gear essentially goes in there. And because it's only 40 liters, it's also forced me to really pay attention to what gear to bring with. I am very limited with space. In terms of river gear, I'm still wearing my river gear. Over here, this is a big time must, the long slacks or tights. This is protection from the sun, of course, board shorts, also the sleeves. The first week I learned the hard way, the sun is quite relentless and very unforgiving. So protection for the legs, protection for the arms, obviously buff, protection for the neck and head. Also very important, factor 50 sunblock. This I would put over here on my nose and face. Of course, a decent pair of sunnies, a wide-brimmed hat, and in terms of shoes, I have a pair of flip-flops. Although they have seen some damage, you can see there some emergency repairs. We've actually had to repair these a number of times, but they seem to be working quite well. And then of course I do have a pair of K-Way river shoes, but again, if you can see, they've taken some serious abuse from the river. I've used boat glue, heat guns, super glue, stitching, pretty much anything to try and extend the life of the shoe, and sad to say they are no more. And I've actually reached out to K-Way to ask them if possible, if they can send me a fresh pair. Anyway, what I also learned the first week, I arrived with only one Nalgene bottle, 1 liter. This on the river when you're paddling for 3 hours simply isn't enough, especially with the heat. The first 5 weeks that we were here, I quickly learned extra water is essential, and it's important to sip water every half an hour to stay hydrated. The only problem is though, water becomes quite boring and bland, and because of that, again, quickly I learned to pick up some ready mixed cool drink just to to make the drinking a little bit more exciting. And besides, it's sugar. At the end of the day, it's always nice to have some sugar. It's something that we always look forward to. In terms of electronics and camera gear, I'm currently filming on the Hero 7 Black, the GoPro. It just works much better in lower light. Next to the camera is my National Geographic telescopic tripod, and on the tripod I have my Petzl headlamp. In this little bag I have just a normal torch. I also have a black light. This is to go looking for scorpions, and then of course I have my folding MSR spork. So that's in that little bag. My Ditty Bag. This is something I always have with me. Emergency waterproof matches, paracord, because we're on the river, you know, clothes are always wet, so this quickly became a washing line from day one. Some nasal spray because of the hay fever, pencil to jot down some notes, fire steel just because, super glue for my shoes, notepad of course, small sharpening stone, and tent repair kit, sleeping mat, puncture repair kit, and emergency sewing kit. And already that's coming quite handy. And then of course my knife as well, my little pocket knife. So that's what's inside the Ditty Bag. Let's move that to the side. All right. My phone in one of these waterproof pouches. This I think we picked up from some luggage store, I can't remember, but this is obviously important when you're on a river. My G7X Mark II Canon camera. I did bring with my bigger camera and my shotgun mic, but truth be told, I haven't used it once on this entire trip. It was just too big and bulky and a bit risky to carry on a river, and it is the one piece of gear I should have left at home. But I've done a lot of filming on this, especially with my landscape and my b-roll, and this little point and shoot really has come in very handy. This is my go-to GoPro setup: the mouthpiece, the floaty, and of course the dive suit. The reason for the dive suit is because the little side door on my camera I lost quite some time ago, so of course it's no longer waterproof, hence this. Floaty of course, just so it's visible and it doesn't sink, and then this piece of string is just to tether to my life jacket, so in the event I have to bail, and of course water will come straight into my mouth and I have to spit it out, at least I'm not going to lose it down a rapid. It is attached to me. So I found that this is my go-to setup. I do have two floaties as well. The first week I was here, I had my camera mounted on one of these handles, and I literally just tucked it into my life jacket, but unfortunately the camera is a bit low, and as my head's turning to see where I'm going, the camera is staying straight. So I found it was much better in my mouth, because this way you have a POV, which is much better. It's a system I found worked quite well. So a lot of my water shots, and especially through the rapids, is with that very setup. This is my little go-to GoPro bag. I've actually got three setups. This is the one that I chose to bring, and in here, insulation tape. Again, this came in quite handy. Last week I did a night lapse of the night sky, and when you're doing a night lapse with the GoPro, quickly the batteries are drained, so this I used to attach my power banks to the side of the tripod, and I let the camera run for about 5 hours. Cables, GoPro batteries, and the charging hub or station, I guess. Spare camera batteries for the action camera. I've been taking lots of photos on the action camera. This is a little mounting for my phone. I've been doing quite a few Facebook videos, so that's coming quite handy. Another back door for the dive suit, and this is the little mount. I also tried to mount the camera on my helmet, but again, I wasn't quite happy with the footage, so got it anyway, but only used it once. Alright, so that is the GoPro bag. Let's put that out the way. Right, power banks, I've got two. Both bricks are 20,000 milliamps each, and the one I use all the time and then recharge once we rotate back to base camp. The other one I only have used once up until now, but it's a great backup to have anyway. Something very familiar is my cookser. I don't go anywhere without my cookser, and besides, coffee is never the same without it. Another thing I learned quite quickly on the river: sweets. Especially 4 days on the river, when you miss your luxuries, it's always nice to have something sweet just to nibble on. Makes a huge difference. Toiletries, my quick drying towel. Deodorant, of course. Again, when you're on the river and you're bathing in the river, it's sand, it's mud, and these lovely smells go a long way. Soap, of course. Razor blades, bit difficult to shave in the river, so I've learned to do that only once we rotate back to base camp. And very important, this is another thing I picked up quite quickly: cream. You know, you again in and out of the water, you're on the river the entire day, you've got the sun beating down on you, and your skin takes a massive beating. Your legs flake, it looks horrible, so skin dries out, and of course the moisturizing cream comes in quite handy. Toilet paper, although we do carry toilet paper, we had an incident where we lost one of our dry barrels, and all the toilet paper was completely destroyed, and thankfully it was on the last day, so it wasn't a bad thing, but it could have been had it happened a day or two before. So because of that incident, I learned to just pack in my own toilet paper, keep that in my dry bag, so worst case I do have anyway. This little bag, I've got loads of spare batteries for my headlamp. I've got more nasal spray, earbuds, medication, some more sunblock, Lamisil for foot fungus, although that hasn't been an issue at all. My toiletry bag, inside here, again, some more nose spray, toothpaste, toothbrush, small face cloth that also doubles as a washcloth. Very important, insect repellent, especially next to the river, loads of mosquitoes. Chapstick also, that comes in very handy. Your lips again get very dry. Small first aid kit with some medication, plasters, the usual thing, some deep heat, you know, stiff arms, stiff shoulders, antihistamine tablets, emergency rain poncho, space blanket I think is in here somewhere too. Yes, there it is. Some more spare batteries and Imodiums. In fact, it was week 3. We ran out of fresh water, so we had to treat river water with Jik, and of course that gave us a bit of a runny tummy. Some more chapstick, a broken razor, hence the cheap disposable razors. And although this is going to seem funny, I'm no longer in my 20s, and when you get older you'll know all about it. A nose trimmer, a nose and ear hair trimmer. Embarrassing, but it is what it is. And here's my COVID mask. At least I know where it is. Anyway, so those are all the toiletries. I arrived here with 5 of these packets of double Ziplocs, and this has been super helpful. With my electronics, I'm very cautious. You know, again, being on a river, I can't afford to have my electronics damaged or destroyed. So although I've got the dry bags, I do use these all the time. This is a set of 3 sizes, and all 3 have been super useful. I'm now down to my last one, and good timing because this is the last rotation. And I think that is it. Yeah, that is everything I currently have with me on this trip. Back at base camp, I do have a spare bag, and in that bag I have a fresh change of clothes. I have another camera box with my big portable hubs and cables. That's for charging the G7X and also the power banks and the action camera. And then in that bag I also have my beanie, which I left behind this trip. Rain jacket, pair of sneakers, I can't remember what else, and then of course my laptop bag, and inside my laptop bag obviously my Apple Mac, and then all my cables, chargers, extension lead, adapters. I've got about 4 or 5 multiple adapters, which has come in quite handy, because every 4 days when we rotate back, it's a matter of dumping the footage onto the laptop, clearing up the memory cards, and then of course charging up all the electronics. So all of that is safely stowed back at base camp in the home of a lovely couple who have become really good friends of mine. So they've been kind enough to look after my gear and allow me to charge up and of course use their facilities. So big shout out to them, Adelaine and Rocher. But otherwise, that is it. That is absolutely everything that I have with me on this trip. I hope that you guys find that useful, and maybe looking at it now, I think maybe there are quite a few things I could have done without. But needless to say, when I first packed to come on this trip, I actually had more gear that I had to streamline. But so far so good. I certainly have learnt a lot since I've been here, and I did come or arrive very underprepared in terms of little things like chapstick and sweeties for the river and ready mixed cool drink, and you know, so maybe this helps you guys in the future. Maybe you are planning some sort of trip, and this gives you some helpful hints and tips as to what to pack to prepare for your trip. But yeah, now it's just a matter of packing everything away. But anyway, take it easy. Catch you again tomorrow.